Thank you, Mr. Howard. One thing I just wanted to bring up is that Northwell isn't taking, what Northwell is doing is a feasibility study to look at this big picture of how to develop a health system for the whole region. So I just wanted to be clear that no one leaves with that perception. We need to get this information. That's what we're going to get from them. So thanks.
Thank you. So our next set of speakers, next is Donette Carroll. Miss Carroll, where are you? Okay, and then after Miss Carroll, we'll have Tremaine Wright, and then Kwasi Mensah. Is Kwasi here? I didn't see Kwasi, but is Tremaine here? All right, we'll keep moving. Then we'll have Renee Wheeler. Is Renee here? No. All right, Judy Wessler, you're up after Miss Carroll, and Dr. Roland Purcell, you're up after Judy Wessler.
Good afternoon. I'm Donette Carroll. I'm living with sickle cell, and I'm the president of the Sickle Cell Thalassemia Patients Network. I want to talk because the forerunner of this hospital, Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, saved my life, as the gentleman said. I was an immigrant here, had several surgeries, not knowing what was wrong with me, and I was properly diagnosed at Brooklyn Jewish, and that actually saved my life. Coming to this hospital was the best thing that happened to me. And I am talking from the perspective of individuals living with sickle cell. At this hospital, we have a program that is in place that, to me, could be the class act for sickle cell care. We have individuals living with sickle cell here in New York State. 10% of sickle cell patients are diagnosed here in New York State. However, sickle cell only is allocated $250,000 a year. We spend more money on Medicaid than any other disease. It says, according to the state Medicaid office, they spend $15,000 per patient per year. Now, if, as far as we look at it, if we could save 3% of that and use that 3% that is saved to establish a first-class sickle cell care center here, that would be unbelievable. You already have the foundation here between the doctors Guillaume and doctors DeRussa, amazing team that understands the nuances of sickle cell. None of their patients are on fentanyl, Dilaudid, oxycodone. That's what hospitals are giving to children. And that really breaks my heart because we're losing a whole generation of kids to opioids, all because they don't have proper care. Here we have a hospital that has the structure in place to provide that service and to give the care that these kids need. And it is not being done. I'm shaking because I am just so hurt at what has happened to our kids. Last week, Friday, I spoke to a 14-year-old.
Put it closer to your mouth.
Last Friday, I spoke to a 14-year-old who is on fentanyl, Dilaudid, oxycodone.
Wow.
Now, what is that child going to be at 24? None of the children that comes through the program here are addicted to any opioids. I'm a living example of that. I retired from my job after 30 years because of the care that I got here. Now, why can't we have the state-of-the-art program here that could give the as whoever said that, set an example or what it is for other programs around the country. Here in New York, the State Department talks about transition. There's no transition program. This hospital has it. From infancy, adolescence, adult, without trauma. So I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm hoping. Thank you.
Judy Wessler. Donnell. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. I am a member of the Interfaith Coalition and have been for 3 years, and struggled with the demonstrations and everything else, and it was all worth it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, but I just want a couple of things. One is, it's great that the state people are here today, but this should not be it. There should be a task force set up of state people sitting with people from Brooklyn and figuring this out. Not Northville doing it someplace else, but a state task force. You know, I think I heard the contract was $500,000, and I just think about how that money could have been spent here in terms of getting care. I was asked to talk about Medicaid, because that, and by the way, I'm really curious to know whether there was a bidding process for that contract, because I don't think there was. So that's, you know, a serious problem. It's my money, it's public money. I was asked to talk about Medicaid because I have gone to many of the coalition meetings and talk about how Medicaid needs to change and what needs to happen. And there are, you know, very, as Ms. Porter said, there are really discriminatory practices on how the state funds safety net providers, because they don't fund them. They do very poorly in funding safety net providers. And that's one thing. Another, you know, another example could be DSRIP, the federal Medicaid waiver, where all the money is pouring into these big hospitals and communities ain't seeing it. So, you know, there's on and on and on things like that that the state should be looking at, figuring out how to do differently. I just, last night sent out mass email to people asking them to support S6948A and A94, I don't have my glasses on, 76A, which is an enhanced safety net bill, where, you know, not the state definition of safety net is ludicrous. And it allowed for lots and lots of money to go to places that didn't need it, rather than the money going to where it is needed. This definition limits, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but I'd be happy to share it with people, limits who can get this money, who is eligible under this new definition, and that the Medicaid reimbursement would be increased for those safety net providers. And we'd let the commissioner decide how much they should be increased, but they've got to be increased. So this is really important to do. Just one other thing I want to say, I was shocked yesterday when I saw that the head of Northwell earned $10 million last year. I think that's a problem where our money is going. Thank you.
Up next is Dr. Purcell, Dr. Roland Purcell, and then after Dr. Roland Purcell,